everyone. How are you? I am wearing black today as we're in Scorpio season. It's my signature color. If you notice, whenever I'm in the woods, I'm in a black tank top. But yeah, so happy Samhain for all of you celebrating, and happy Beltane for everybody in the southern hemisphere. So that is what we call a cross quarter day, Beltane and Samhain. So it's between it's the astrological halfway mark between the equinox and the solstice. So in the northern hemisphere now we enter the darkest time of the year. In sidereal astrology, this is called the path of fire. So sidereal, it would be from 15 degrees of Libra, and it really is just a path of some there's some pretty serious fixed stars in there. My birthday is Samhain, and I'm born at dusk. So I've got the Dias de los Muertos. I hope I said that correctly. The Day of the Dead, or All Saints Day. And I've always, found it really easy, kind of second nature, to hear from the other side, all my life, since memory. So last week, it really does, honestly, this time of year always catches me like, whoa, because it's so close. It's, the woman who has been doing my hair for quite a while, colors my hair. She was talking about her mother. I can't even remember like what the conversation was, but her mom, who had passed, a while ago, started answering and speaking, and we were like having a conversation last week. So yeah, she was happy about that. But for those of us who are born around this time of year, it's just easy to access the ancestors and to speak to people on the other side of the veil. I will say I've seen so many posts about that the veil is thin. Now you can talk to your higher self, and the angels doesn't really apply. They're always right there. But it just is easier to connect to the ancestors and to hear their voices. And they're saying to me, your cheering section, your cheering section. So while I was preparing for this video, Metatron was bringing me so many downloads and good information to share with everybody. The full moon and eclipse. It's not an official like eclipse that astronomers would classify as an eclipse, but coming a partial eclipse on the 19th of November is with Algol, and it's about a mature romance. So I wondered if I should combine these readings, but I think we'll save that for the 19th. So a lot of things happening. Of course, full moons, not really a timing kind of thing, but when we talk about a new moon, we aren't talking about something that goes on for 2 weeks. It goes on about 2.5 years. I always tell people 2 to 3 years, because really with astrology, you can't say, starts at this minute and ends at this minute. Energy does not work like that. So we're talking about a 2 to 3 year period whenever we discuss a new moon. This new moon coming on the 4th, and so for some of you on the 5th, is a super new moon, meaning that the moon is very close to the earth. Now, when there's a new moon, we don't see the moon, right, in the sky, because it's with the sun, and so we can't see the light of the moon. But this is a really powerful, it's in the sign of power, the Scorpio constellation, or sorry, sign. And the next one in December, that will be an eclipse. That's also a super new moon. And so it's interesting in the chart, because it's Scorpio, we look at both rulers, but really this time Metatron was drawing my attention more to the Mars energy, Mars being the traditional ruler of Scorpio. And, I've seen a lot of just really nasty posts about the Scorpios. Just ignore those people. I think it's funny because even when I was in that lower Scorpio vibration, we don't really go after people. We strike back, much like scorpions. It's retaliation. So whenever people talk about Scorpios, you know that they did something pretty bad. Because a Scorpio, in order to lose our loyalty, you really have to do something pretty monumental, and you may have to do it over and over again before we finally are finished with you. But when we talk about like treachery and, planning something sinister, that's more like not everyone, of course, but when the South Node and Mars are together in Scorpio, then you want to be careful of trusting maybe that person. If they give you a reason to trust them, then go with that. But you want to make sure that you see that they're trustworthy, because that can be an issue for them. But this full or new moon is coming on the 4th in London. That is at 9:14 p.m. In Chicago, 4:14 p.m. And in Sydney, it's going to be on the 5th at 8:14 a.m. on the 5th. So we have a 1 and a 4, a 5. And because in this astrology, the traditional ruler of Scorpio is square to Uranus, and the sun and moon are opposing Uranus. I'm sorry, he's opposite Uranus, but square to Saturn. Okay, so this is a long build. This is something that you really want. Okay, Scorpios, it's like we have to gather the resilience, the fortitude, the will, the determination to push forward. And most likely with Uranus doing what he's doing, an obstacle will be removed. Something maybe that's been, Metatron is saying gathering dust. Could be like a belief. With Taurus, it's the Hierophant energy, so it's kind of like the way it's always been done. Hard to want to change with the Taurus energy, but Uranus, there's really no choice. So something maybe that has he's saying like our own inertia or unwillingness to step out, to take a chance. Maybe the belief that our dreams were not so important, that our dreams should come through or come true. It's funny, I didn't mean to say through, but that works too. So really, this is a nice energy, okay? It's just that it will take effort. It's very interesting to me. I just want to note that Mars is at 3 degrees and 33 minutes of Scorpio, and he is flush the asteroid Pandora, as in Pandora's box. And the mythology of Pandora is similar to Eve's story. And it was the feminine who brought, Metatron always says, the choice of free will, the gift of free will choice to the planet. We were a utopia, and it was the feminine who reached out. What I was shown is it looked like a series of antennas, like pyramids, that we built to call in. We were looking for wisdom, and we wanted to know it all, kind of thing. But it brought darkness, but the higher way of looking at that is free will choice. So there's definitely something coming up about the feminine. Now, the asteroid Pandora doesn't portend so much grace and ease. And with Scorpio energy, it's really important to get the balance of surrender and discipline. Not having to be all in control, but recognizing what we have control over, our own vibration, how we speak to ourselves. He's saying resolving inner conflict and confusion in those dark corners of the mind. A lot of times the ego thinks that it's going to die or stop existing if it surrenders to the light. It's really just an upgrade for the ego. We don't want to be without ego. That's our personality. It's what makes us unique. So ego is important. It's the lower ego, fear, doubt, questioning. In this energy, I would not be surprised if secrets come to light about any partner. But most likely, for a lot of people, it will involve a romance sort of energy. Could even be family secrets in this energy. But this transit of Mars now going through Scorpio these next weeks is preparing us for when the nodes move. The nodes will move into Taurus and Scorpio in January. And so pay close attention to like ego battles, power, what do you call that? Power struggles. And power struggles in the mind is the way that he's talking about it. Resetting what it is that we believe that we're worth. Recognizing that the sun isn't out to get you. I think because of Neptune and Pisces, there's just just unbelievable amount of posts going up about all of these horrible things that we're going to feel when the geomagnetic storms are going on. Please do not buy into that. Spirit does not hurt us. That's all part of that story where we need to suffer to have a reward. We really don't have to. When this really, the Lionsgate 888 in August of 2015, the storms were like G8s, a lot of days. They were 6, 7, 8s, which is way higher than they have been, almost since that time. Nobody made posts then because nobody had really grabbed on to the idea. Now they're all over the place. And I, at that time, was having a really difficult time with them. But if we can, recognize that we have, Metatron is saying we own our vibration free and clear, that nothing is coming in to test us or to hurt us. Really, taking that narrative back. I'm not sure why people are so quick to claim victimhood, but it's like divine sovereignty. You say it once. Unless you don't believe it, that is true. And we need to really be careful as Mars goes through Scorpio and then as the nodes come in, that we aren't buying into the story that something outside of us has control over us. The narrative, he's saying, that has become so prevalent, that something is trying to control us, to kill us, or, harm us in some way. If we believe that, we keep saying it, we're going to create it. If we believe something's out to get us, out to hurt us, then that is what's going to happen, because what we believe, what we choose to believe, he's saying, is where we're putting our energy and efforts, and we will bring that into fruition. And he had actually had me look up the Bible verse. Okay. He is saying we can do it by memory. So it's Mark 11, and it starts, I believe, around, I know the Bible very well, by the way. I grew up on it. But I believe it's about verse 20 is when it starts. When Jesus says, whatsoever a man believes in his heart, as long as there's not doubt in it, in the heart, in that story coming true, it will come true. And that's either way, right? That's the 1111 gateway. Are we going to focus on how great it's going to be, on the freedom of humanity and community, and when people recognize the Hunger Games, stuff and nonsense playing out around them, that they're just wanting us to fight with each other rather than coming up with a solution to who is controlling the narrative? It's nonsense. It's not really that we're all so divided, but they'd like us to believe that. That's what goes out over mass media. And he's saying causing mass hysteria. That's not the truth. That's what they want us to believe. So the new moon is going to be with a very nice fixed star named Alphecca. It's the nature of Venus and Mercury. This is from the Astrology King website. I like to direct people there. as he's recovering from a very serious illness. Jamie, wishing him all the best. But this fixed star is the nature of Venus and Mercury: idealistic, psychic, handsome, neat, lovable, refined, genteel, and intelligent. It gives honor, dignity, and poetic or artistic ability. Its own image is a hen or crowned man. It gives chastity and the love of goodwill and of men. It rules topaz, rosemary, trefoil, and ivy. It is noted for conveying honor, dignity, and artistic ability. But like all Venusian stars, it can also have undesirable effects. It could be that if we're like going too far into our quest for pleasure, with a habit or whatever that we get carried away with, then it will come back and bite us in the booty. But if we're aligning in the vibration of what's best for ourselves and all that is, without anything of vengeance or wanting to prove something to somebody else, then it's beneficial and helpful. So I'm not going to read the symbol for Capricorn 25 where Pluto is, because we've used it before. It's a woman dressed like an Egyptian mummy. It's about going into the sarcophagus to rise again, to change, which is Scorpio, death and transformation. But Mars degree is Scorpio 4, because we look at the next degree, because he's at 3 degrees and 33 minutes with Pandora. It's an albino woman unaffected by the rays of the sun. There is an ability here to repel any energies coming from the outside. In short, the person can be almost impervious to influence. That's like Scorpio, where we know what we know and nobody's going to change our mind. Not saying that's a good thing. They have a staunch integrity that refuses to be impressed or compelled even by the strongest of powers. They do not buy into what seems to be, for they have the capacity to see beyond appearances into the spiritual reality of things. It's just like Esther Hicks, Abraham and Esther talk about, believing it in our heart, feeling the joy, the emotion of joy that comes when we imagine the possibilities and where we would like to be. That brings it to fruition, right? So it doesn't mean that it will be so simple, but when Saturn is involved, there has to be integrity. There has to be integrity, and Metatron is saying to think of it as a slow growth process. And he's reminding me of the fact that Scorpio, Pluto, Scorpio is the seeds and the wealth of the earth. It's the crystals in the earth, but it's the seed and the power of that seed to generate, bringing it, germinate, coming all the way up, to be seen by everyone, Taurus, right? When that seed blooms and comes up above ground. It's the most powerful new moon that we're going to have this year. So make it special. Do something to honor your ancestors. I always say ask for a specific sign, which brings me to my next point, that someone is impersonating me on Instagram and asking you guys for money. Please just report and block them. No healer, no reader is ever going to ask you for money. That's just the truth. If they do, then block and report them. No, but it's not my account, and I would never do that. I have no reason to do that. So yeah, just report them and then block them. And I'm going to be coming up with an offering for kids. I was inspired by a boy named Hunter last week and reminded of how amazing these children are. And I love working with them. It's so joyful. And I really, really would like to offer that to all of you for your grandkids, your nieces and nephews, all the kids that you guys talk to me about all the time. And a lot of you, I've worked with your children. So if that's something that you would be interested in doing, we're going to meet like maybe every couple of weeks. It will not be a long meeting. I figure they're good for about 45 minutes, maybe, is what Metatron was saying. We're not going to have a long, drawn out thing, but I want them to be able to talk and to share what they would like to share. So my email address and my Instagram account are below the screen in the show more box if you want to take a look there and follow me. I'm going to be posting more on Instagram. I probably will not have much to do with Facebook. For my birthday this year, I think that's going to be my gift to myself is no more Facebook after I answer the birthday wishes. And thank you to everyone who sent an email, saying happy birthday to me today. My son sent me these beautiful flowers. So just in time for me to make the video for all of you. And I love you guys. I don't think that I will be able to watch this because I'm going to just upload it right away so that you have it this evening. And I'm going out for my birthday, so I will not be here to watch it with you. But I do love doing that with all of you and talking to you on the phone in sessions. I really enjoy our time together. I love my work so much, and I'm grateful to all of you who come to me for the work. It's exciting. And lots of breaking through, lots of going back and resolving things in the subconscious that we don't want to contend with anymore. That's where my Scorpio is. That's where I work my magic. Metatron is saying, he's making me blush. All right, you guys, wishing you all a magical Scorpio season. It's the season of the mystic, the magician, all of your power. Important to watch our feelings of self-worth and trust that financially everything is going to work out perfectly for all that is. And sending you guys so much love. Bye-bye.